I think we are now.
Sure you're on the Facebook page. Members only. Oh. Yep.
Yeah, we have people watching.
I can't see it.
So you guys have questions, type them on your screen. And why am I like talking with my hands as though...
You need to sit down and get the mic in your hand.
Yeah, okay.
MCG. What is up Facebook? This is a very unusual QDP podcast. Facebook Live Q&A with members. And hi Jennifer. There's Kevin. Kevin coming back into view now.
Trying to fix the frame here.
Here, I can move. It's easier to move a human than a computer.
Maybe.
So this is how it happens. Oh. All right. So let's see. Nice ceiling. Yep. Thanks, buddy. All right. So you need your microphone, not for them, but for the podcast.
Understood. I get it. Get it.
All right. So as you guys know, we made the decision today at the request of Governor Mills to cease workouts inside of the gym. Sort of knew it was coming, kind of inevitable. Have been preparing for it for a while with plans C, D, and E.
Right.
But it's here, so it's here, and we're here too. So let's see what we got some questions. Any chance, this is from Jen Ackerman, any chance we can get like a general warm-up or some ideas on that? Absolutely, I think that's a great idea. We'll definitely be doing that when Kate and I do the videos for the home WOD. We're still gonna program workouts for those of you with home gyms, and we can absolutely build in some warm-up ideas and strategies for you there. So that's a great question.
Just for the record, this now weighs about 3.5 pounds.
It was 7 pounds yesterday.
It was 7 pounds on the YouTube. It's been a long friggin' day.
Yes, yeah, that was yesterday.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing. Thanks, Will. Other questions? What do you guys want to know about? We've got the lending library is opening up tomorrow at noon. So come on in and grab a kettlebell, grab a couple of dumbbells, just sign them out. That's all we're asking for. And you guys can take those home and work out with them, and that way we can actually program some more stuff with the gear that we know that you have. Jump ropes are cheap. If you can get into a store to get them, order them off of, I guess, Amazon. But so build up your arsenal of gear. But we're going to be lending out our gear as well.
Right.
Just come in and pick it up and sign it out. That's all you need to do.
Dumbbells and kettlebells. A pair of dumbbells. I mean, I think I actually counted it up. We only have 57 kettlebells, so there's obviously not a kettlebell for everybody. So each member has a choice of a kettlebell or a pair of dumbbells until everything's gone, and it's first come, first serve.
Yep.
I don't see any other fair way to do that.
Ackerman's asking about plates. 35s only.
Oh, that's a good idea. That's a great idea.
You can take 35s.
We'll give you $1 to take a 35-pound plate,
or even to use it once.
Yeah, those are brand new. Those are brand spanking new.
Brand new 35-pound plates. You guys can take some 35-pound plates if you need to.
That's a great idea.
But you just have to post videos of you using them. Let's see. He's in. Good. What else? Adrian?
I think Kieran had a question about that earlier. Either messaged me or maybe he posted in the Facebook group. So that we'll do that for you too, Kieran. Yeah.
Emily, I would say if you want to borrow an ab mat, absolutely, that's cool. So our rule of only kettlebells or dumbbells only was true until you asked for other things.
Right.
I think ab mats are fine.
We had a question. Kyle actually in the coaches group asked about jump ropes. We
Yeah.
actually don't have very many jump ropes, and I mean, you're obviously free to come take your jump rope. Many of you have been storing your jump ropes at the gym in our rack, and that's totally cool. So you want to come get your jump rope, come get it. But we're not going to loan out jump ropes just because I'm not sure we have more than a handful of them, honestly.
Yeah. I just now hit record on the podcast. So
Motherfucker.
can you guys start over again? Because we do this all the time.
No.
We have to do this. We have to do this every time. Every time we do 4 podcasts to get one.
Right.
No, I'm just kidding. So we are taking questions from members on the CrossFit Yarmouth Facebook page. So far, just a quick recap. We are lending out some ab mats. We're going to lend out some 35-pound weights, kettlebells, and dumbbells. What else do you guys have questions about? Kyle says just program everything at 115 and we'll be fine with 35. So
There you go.
It's a good point.
Perfect.
It's a good point. What else? What else do you guys got?
So we also can answer lots of good sort of tactical questions about the closure and about the equipment, and that makes perfect sense. Also happy to answer questions about programming and about questions that you might have about minimum effective dose and what you need to do to keep your gains and all those other kinds of things. It's not as dire as even though we're all super bummed about not being able to work out together in the gym, it's not really as dire as all that. And we happy to share knowledge about that or anything else for that matter.
So Hannah Barry wants to know, do you think you will reopen when the schools open or sooner?
That's an impossible question to answer.
So yes, that's a great question.
And that makes it a good question.
Right.
So let me just tell you what my instinct is, which is nothing more than my instinct. I suspect that we will reopen before the schools, and the reason I think that is because I think there's a chance the schools will not reopen until next fall. Unless they decide to redo the school year and have people going to school in the summertime because they missed 2 months of school. But that's just me sitting here, drinking a glass of whiskey. I mean, I don't know any more than you do.
That's you most of the time, to be fair.
That's a great point.
So I think that we're going to open back up the doors as soon as we can. What I don't want to be thinking about is that CrossFit Yarmouth is closed, because we're providing programming, we're encouraging our members, we're staying engaged. We still want you guys logging into Wodify
Absolutely.
and telling us what you did for the day, giving us your scores. We want to keep this, and the reason is because this community is a big part of why CrossFit works. So if the community doesn't work, the CrossFit methodology doesn't work as well. So the doors will be open as soon as it's safe and as soon as we get some green lights from the government. Those are the two things that we're using. Whether or not schools are open or not, kind of doesn't matter. We're going to be the doors and it might be a little bit warmer, so that big door is going to be open as soon as it can.
We had the door open at noon today. People worked outside today. It was awesome.
Yep. David's wondering if they can take home some bands for stretching or attaching to kettlebells and dumbbells.
I guess I'm okay with that.
It would be. I would have to make up a reason to say no.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like making up a reason to say no.
Right.
Jen asks, Friday's sumo programming does not have reps and percentages. Can we get that info into Wodify?
Yes.
So a lot of times,
It's the same workout that we did today. I must have had a brain cramp when I loaded it in, but it's Wendler week 1, so it's 5s.
Yeah. Hannah, if you were here, we would pass you the bottle happily. So I think that's a really good point. I think we're going to need to sort of up our game. There's a lot of when it comes to posting the WODs into Wodify. That's going to include maybe some more directed warm-ups, some more specificity. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes every week and every day. All the coaches are in a Slack channel, and so we're always sort of talking and asking questions about what percentages should we be using and what should we be recommending. What'd you do for a warm-up today if you're coaching a later class? So I think we might have to sort of dial up our intensity in terms of providing more
Mark
content.
Kubek always wants to do Fran. That's his
Mark
answer
Ku-
to every question.
Yeah, and I still stand by my comment that I don't think he's ever done Fran. He just heard about it. Cheers, Paula. Thanks very much. Let's see. Yeah, there's the video of Fran, right? Right, with Ackerman's new super smooth, buttery butterfly pull-ups.
Yep.
He's Murph ready. So this is a great Murph training exercise, folks.
I think Saturday's going to feel a lot like Murph, quite honestly.
Yeah, what's Saturday?
Saturday's Riley.
Ew.
Yeah. So a 1.5 mile run, 150 burpees, a 1.5 mile run for time.
Yeah. So the other thing to note is that in Wodify, and you guys have probably all seen this, but in Wodify now you can log into a class that's called Home Wad All Day. It's a class that's scheduled to go from 4 a.m. to midnight. And so you can log into that whenever you want and post your scores for the workout of the day. Again, super important to do from an accountability perspective, from a shit talk perspective, just again, to keep us engaged as a community, because that's a little bit of the magic of CrossFit is this community.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. So I'm one of the, kind of a way to think about that process is if you think about the physical gym space, all that we ask of you when we're running workouts in the physical gym space is to walk in the door, and we take it from there. And so we don't have an actual physical door to walk in, but our online community is the door that you need to walk in.
Yeah.
So whatever you need to do in terms of habit building to result in you getting used to doing that, that's what you need to do. So if that's okay, whatever else is going on in the world and in my life, if Brooks and Kate are going to be doing the workout at 7 a.m., I'm going to log on to Facebook Live and I'm going to watch them do that, and I'm going to listen to the warm-up, and maybe I won't do the workout until later in the day.
Yeah.
But that's fine. But you have engaged, and on some level, you're sort of committed to that process. I mean, things like that are, I think, what we're going to need to really focus on to keep each other accountable. And reach out to your buddies. I mean, even if you're not physically working out together, if somebody hasn't heard from Marisa in a while and is wondering what's up with her, reach out to her, send her a text, send her a Facebook message. Hey, I'm going to do the workout at 2. But you want to do it on FaceTime?
Right.
I mean, that's.
A lot of gyms are going to Zoom, doing a lot of Zoom workouts. Everybody's got a sort of a different scenario. See you, David. Thanks for jumping in. If you watch the video of Kate and I doing the workout today, I talked a little bit about, how people go to work, and they go to most of the time they go to their office, and that's one of their places, and then they go home, that's the other places, and oftentimes that third place is their CrossFit gym, is sort of their sanctuary, and that place is gone, but the workout is still the sanctuary. I mean, that's still the stimulus for this. Whether you want to work from home or not, now your home is your work for a ton of people. And so making sure you get outside and get a workout in is sort of the new version of the sanctuary, that third place. Just because the actual physical 4 walls are gone and the ceiling's gone and the rig is not right in front of you, you still have the sanctuary of the workout. And I think that's something that we want to reinforce for everybody to keep going.
Totally. Do we have any questions that have piled up?
Gone for now, Lisa. No questions have piled up. David said he's going to go do the workout.
Excellent.
Good. So what other questions do you have about operationally what's going on? Bring it.
While we're doing this, kind of a word about strength training. This is something that I've been thinking about a lot. Mostly because I'm trying to problem solve this no equipment programming thing. So one thing I think that people should keep in mind is that barbells are awesome and plates are awesome, and it's great to be able to deadlift 320 pounds or to bench press off the rack or to back squat off the rack, all those kinds of things. There are other ways to resistance train. some of the strength portion of these at-home workouts are designed to get you that. So today, the bird dogs today and the hover. I mean, the hover is a species.
Horrible.
Yeah, right. 20-second 5, 20-second up. It's a species. It's like a bench press. It will make your pecs sore like a big bench day will.
And tries. There was a tricep movement for me this morning.
So we're looking for ways using static holds and using isometrics and things like that to be able to get you, to get you some gains. I mean,
I tell you what, walk into your garage and look around. Today we had that 100-meter walk that Kevin had programmed. I felt that was a little under-programmed personally. So I went in the garage and found a 50-pound bag of gravel and just walked with that.
That's a great strategy.
Right. So you need to. We're being creative is one of the new strategies here. Ben Smith, thanks for the video. Kyle reminds us that it is 5:10, and in 20 minutes there is a workout happening inside the four walls.
Last one ever.
No, not ever, dummy.
Right.
Last one for a little bit. Last one happening. So you got 20 minutes to get to the gym. He might allow you to be a little bit late today. So we've talked about training stimulus using your garage. We have talked about staying in contact with the community as a very important part of this. What else do we want to talk about tonight? We know we're drinking Jameson's, so that's sort of a foregone conclusion at this point.
We skipped the what are we drinking? But
you know what though? On that, I made two mistakes yesterday.
What'd you do?
I went to Sam's Club.
Okay.
On a sort of a zombie run.
Yeah.
With my son Charlie.
Yeah.
And it was chaotic. It
Right.
was not. There was no fights. We didn't get any fights.
Okay, well that's good.
People were cordial, but things were a little bit bare.
Yeah.
And the alcohol section was a little bit bare.
Was it picked over?
A little bit. And so I got some Members Mark.
Oh, not Maker's Mark, but Members Mark.
Right, which is like the Sam's Club members brand.
Is it gross?
So I bought a handle.
Yeah.
Which doesn't have a handle, but it's basically a handle.
Like this doesn't. Yeah. This one doesn't have a handle.
And that was my first mistake. My second mistake was I bought two just in case.
Oh dear.
So now I have two really shitty bottles of whiskey.
You can mix them with Diet Ginger Ale.
You know what? I'm not going to do that. Because if I need to start my lawnmower, I've got some fuel. Kyle says, he worked out alone for 4:30. He and Sid worked out alone. That's no fun. That's no fun. But you got some people coming in for 5:30. This is gonna be a really weird podcast where we're actually talking to people who aren't here, and we're having like a weird ghost conversations. What else do we want to talk about tonight on this, Kev?
Well, I mean, if we're kind of through with the tactical stuff, and we don't have to be. I mean, if anyone throws a question in there,
right?
At any point, we can address that. But the whole COVID-19 thing, we haven't really talked about the impact that has on people in terms of their relationship with exercise and the place that occupies in their life and all that kind of stuff. And it's an enormously dislocating experience, just in general.
Yeah.
But specifically as it relates to exercise, I think, and it is for me at least.
Yeah. So all right. So let's poke at that a little bit because, one of the things that CrossFit is known for is sort of the known and the unknowable, right? That's kind of what we're taught to be prepared for.
Right.
And so our CrossFit training is essentially training us for life. And the curveball of life today is a pandemic.
Right.
So one of the things that happened to me today was Kate and I went in for her 38-week checkup for the baby. And we made the decision, along with our doctors, was to go ahead and induce the baby next Saturday. We go in at 6 p.m. And they will start cycles of Pitocin to induce the baby. And the reason that I think the reason we were able to come to that decision kind of easily is that when we go into fitness and training and workout, we need to control the things we can control. We can't control our judge if they're no-repping us. We go into the thing and control the things we can control. And the timing of our baby is something that we can, thanks to science, control. So rather than having a natural labor cycle start to occur, which can happen whenever, we decided to sort of take the reins back a little bit and control this a little. So I think we need to think about that same thing as we get into situations like this where we're stuck at home, we're with our kids more, we're with our spouse more perhaps. Control the things that you can control, and one of those things, perhaps maybe the most important, is going to be your fitness.
Right. And
keeping that, I always talk about this margin of health, right? We want a really wide margin of health. And if, like, for anyone like who went through the L1, we always remember the Greg Glassman, founder of CrossFit, sort of that arc of fitness, right? And it goes from unhealthy to fitness, and in the middle is health. And so we're in a really good position to handle this pandemic well, because we are on the fitness side of health.
Right.
And so the strategy is to not lose that over the next 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks. We don't know what it's going to be.
Right.
So I think that's sort of an important piece of being appreciative of our fitness and using it. Right?
Yeah, no, I think it's exactly right. I love your point about control, because that's, that the conversation we were having before about, have your fail safes in place that are going to put you in a position to succeed, and recognize that is an exercise, that's an intentional act of taking control of your circumstances when lots of other pieces of your life can feel completely out of your control.
Right.
And you're doing our home WODs and engaging with the community as part of that.
Yeah.
Moving, even if it's not part of a workout per se, we could all stand to walk a lot more than we do, and if one of the outcomes of all this is people get their 10,000 steps in,
right.
then that doesn't really make up for anything, but it's not a bad thing if you end up walking more.
Yeah, for sure. So Hannah said on Facebook, I'm so thankful for this community, and now I need to make my new habit of how to get my workout in with my kids at home. Absolutely. Signing off to make dinner. Great. You know what? I had dinner for the first time with my son Charlie last night in a long time. And I think that's another piece of this, right? Make food.
Yeah.
You're kind of forced to cook. Make food, eat it with your family. That's a huge part of this fitness thing.
Yeah, it
right?
really is.
And so if anything, this thing might be a reset button for us to think about that and do that. And that's super important. But I think you're right. The thing you control the things you can, and you work your way through the things you can. Right? This is a chipper.
That's
right.
A great way to think
right?
about it.
Right. I think this is going to be a chipper. This isn't Fran. Right? This is Filthy 50 on acid.
Yeah.
And so the good thing is you get to do Filthy 50 on acid with a bunch of friends. I think the other thing we've been talking about is, trying to get people outside. And so, maybe we can schedule some outdoor events.
Yep.
And get people outside and bring some gear. Everybody brings their gear, and we'll bring other gear. I'm not quite sure where that's going to be yet, but I think doing some outdoor events together every couple of days, twice a week, whatever it is is going to
Makes a huge difference.
that'll make a big difference. You know, we're social animals.
So we'll figure out a way to make that happen.
Yep.
Even if it's in my backyard.
Yeah, you've got a good. We both have backyards. We could. What was the what's the event that Kate and I did?
Oh, I don't forget what you called it, but it was awesome.
Barbells and barbecue. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
the
that's what it was.
barbecue.
Yeah.
So we have a fitness competition in the front yard and a barbecue in the backyard. Maybe we'll have to do that, and we'll have to have a 6-foot hula hoop or something around each of us to keep safe. But
Exactly.
but yeah, we're gonna figure out some outdoor exercises and opportunities for us to get together and keep the community alive here. Let's see, is this a new one? I think so. So Jen asks, do you guys have any suggestions on maintaining muscle while maybe not strength training as hard? I'm talking nutrition.
Oh yeah, that's
Up,
great. That's a
up the
great question.
protein or other adjustments. That is a great question.
Yeah, it is. So on the nutrition, there two different things. I mean, I think that the number of reps that you need to do and the amount of weight in total that you need to lift in order to maintain the muscle mass that you have is not nearly as much as people think that it is. I think the rule of thumb, from the weightlifting folks who write about this stuff is, if you're able to get 20 reps of back squat in a week and 20 reps of bench press in a week and 20 reps of deadlift in a week, that's more than enough to maintain the strength that you have.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I think there are lots of options for kind of body weight, and even kind of hypertrophic or hypertrophic exercises that are designed to build muscle size.
Can you talk a little bit more about what hypertrophic is?
Yeah, so hypertrophy is the opposite of atrophy. So a lot of people know what the term atrophy means because you blew out your ACL and your calf and quad shriveled up, and the muscle got small.
Stop talking about me.
Yeah, right. So, or me, so hypertrophy is the opposite of that. It literally means the growth of muscle fibers. And the programming for hypertrophy is different than the programming that we generally do. We program for strength gains. We don't necessarily program for increases in the width of muscle fibers. But the type of programming that you do to increase the size of your muscle fibers tends to be low weight but higher rep sets. So doing 3 sets of 20 bench presses is sort of equivalent. If you're a 200-pound dude, that's like doing a 160-pound bench press. So that's a great hypertrophic stimulus that you're getting. If you do 3 sets of 20, if you did 3 sets of 20 bench presses at 160 pounds, you would be fried. So that's an illustration of what I mean when I say we can do a lot with body weight. And then on the nutrition side, I think on the nutrition side, the focus is on getting as much lean protein as you can. I mean, that's really, there's a whole, we could do a whole nutrition plan, for whoever wanted us to do that. But if you're looking for the basics, if you're trying to maintain muscle mass, low fat, high protein, and then eat when you're hungry. And like Rook said, cook your food at home, focus on whole foods, and there's a lot more to it than that. But I mean, those are great. If you do those things, you're not going to go far wrong.
So the trick is, in the current state, lean proteins may be hard to come by. Protein powder less so. You can still order that stuff off Amazon, but up the protein. fresh vegetables are going to be a little bit harder to come by. Although when I was at Whole Foods, the frozen food was picked clean, but there was plenty of fresh
I had that
vegetables.
same experience.
Yeah,
Plenty
so-
of fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, and so there was a lot of red meat when I went through there last time, but there was not a lot of chicken. So that lean protein may be a little bit harder to find right now. But again, I ended up getting probably 10 pounds of tenderloin, for $16 at Sam's Club, and so we're freezing half of it and we'll
Yeah.
cook it later.
Yeah.
So as we're stocking up, I also grabbed 2 ginormous jars of peanut butter. It's not exactly lean protein.
That's not
but,
lean protein at all.
but I'm gonna eat it all.
Yeah, fair enough.
And the other thing that I found interesting at Sam's Club was there was no eggs, there was no dairy, but there was a ton of egg whites and almond milk.
Isn't that funny?
So we're good, because that's all we're eating anyway. So it's kind of a CrossFitter's dream
It is a little bit.
to scoot through that place right now, because there's plenty of greens, plenty of vegetables. We got a ginormous bag of clementines, and I had one this morning for breakfast, and it was awesome just to eat an orange.
Yeah, right?
I never do it. I never eat that. But I wouldn't say we were panic shopping, but we were definitely grab that shopping.
No doubt.
So
So just to put just in terms of a benchmark, what you would love to get is somewhere between 0.8 and 1.2 grams of protein per day per pound of body weight. A little less than that would be fine. And that's going to end up being a lot of food.
yeah,
So that will do a good job keeping you full, and then if you fill in with whole food fruits and vegetables, and carbs that don't also have a ton of fat, then you'll be fine. You'll be absolutely fine, and we'd be happy to chat with people who have more specific questions about the nutritional strategy. If you do these workouts that we're programming and you get some movement in outside of the workouts and you go for walks, which you maybe have time to do now because you're not going to the office, then
and you're more efficient.
you're going to be great. You're going to do fine.
Yep,
You
I think that's right. All right, we have 0 questions, which leads me to believe we've done a pretty good job of communicating with our members.
that's good.
And for you non-members, well, I apologize. This has been a weird, questionable depth podcast.
It has been.
But it's weird days, so enjoy. What else? What other strategies do we want to leave people with for tonight? Because again, you guys are going to log in tomorrow to Wodify. You're going to check out the workout.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only thing I would say is tomorrow this starts.
Right.
So I think
That's a good point. Right.
I think people need to commit to themselves and to the other people in this group that we start this tomorrow. We don't take tomorrow off. We
Yep.
start this tomorrow.
Yep. I think that's right on. Okay, it starts tomorrow. The outside workouts, the out of the doors workouts for CrossFit Yarmouth, and then as soon as we are confident that it's safe, and as soon as that we are able, that big fucking door is gonna slide open, and you guys are gonna stream in, just like you did when the day we first opened this thing,
Right.
about a goddamn 6 weeks ago.
Right.
You guys streamed in with all of our gear. You remember that? You remember, guys?
That was a
Streamed
day.
in. You guys walked in with all the gear from that old gym, and you put it where it belonged, and it's been there ever since. And so, whenever this thing settles down, the same thing's going to happen. You're bringing the gear back,
Yep.
and you're going to load this gym back up, and we're going to fire up the lights. We're going to fire up that goddamn music system. We're going to crank some AC/DC and get back at it.
Maybe we'll do Fran.
Until then, we're going to see each other right here. We see each other in Wodify. Shit talk on Wodify. And we're going to just keep increasing our margin of fitness and keeping strong. Kevin?
That's all I got.
All right.
Nice job, man.
You guys have a great night.